Welcome back. Today we're talking about the health of the economy, the health of the body, and the health of the nation's children. I've been chatting with Sandiaga Uno about these subjects, and now I'm pleased to also welcome to the studio Farhan, veteran TV presenter, known to many of you, who's also an advisor to the group Yayasan Cinta Anak Bangsa. I want to ask Sandy, how did you get involved in Yayasan Cinta Anak Bangsa?
YCAB.
YCAB. How did you get involved in YCAB? And let's have Farhan explain to us the relationship between your marathon and YCAB and what YCAB is doing.
Very briefly, I met Veronica Colandam, who's a fellow in Asia Society, together with me. And she's basically such a bundle of energy. She started this social investment initiatives, and basically I've been just amazed on how she could turn around very positive impacts to society.
Yeah, that's Veronica. She's the energy.
Veronica founded YCAB.
Yeah,
right?
She founded YCAB. She co-founded it with some other friends. That energy really brings lots of ideas, thought, involvement in everyone. That's how we got Sandy involved. And the thing, looking back at 2007? Yeah. Looking back at 2007, when we were just friends, fellow in Asia Society, and then it led to this moment when Sandy is really committed to give something to the cause of our nation's children, which is very nice because it all started out with the energy of investing something socially.
Tell us, what is YCAB all about? What is YCAB trying to do?
Well, back in the 1999, yes, 12 years ago, we started out in campaigning the prime prevention of drug abuse. Mm-hmm. But then we realized it's not about telling the children not to touch drugs, but also telling the children to pick the right choice of your life. But then again, there are some children, abundance of them, and then we realized lots of them, most of the children in Indonesia didn't have the ability to choose. Mm-hmm. Why? Education, poverty, and so on and so on. So we realized then we have to focus on one single activity that will empower the children to have the ability to choose the right choice for their life. And that is through education. And education will never be reached through the children, because right now we lost 8 to 12 children drop out of school every minute.
That was a shocking thing that we were talking about on the break. 8 to 12 kids. I really want to underscore that for the people listening. 8 to 12 kids a minute drop out of school in Indonesia.
Yes.
And then they're lost.
Yes, they're lost. This lost generation need to be saved. What we did was prototyping, and at the same time also ask everyone to join our investment and scaling up the prototype, so we can give the children an option, a choice of life, to know exactly what they are going to do. The funny thing is, most of us will go to one children on the street, give them 100,000 rupees, and hoping that he or she will be like, haha, happy and go to school. Well, unfortunately, that's not going to happen, because the very first thing that we need to do in order to save these children is to give them the encouragement, to give them the honor of themselves, so they can honor themselves. In that case, if they are empowered to honor themselves, then they have the power to make a choice on their life. That's the basic philosophy and the activity.
And what's the relationship between this kind of work, Sandy, and what happens to the economy, as we talked about earlier? One of the things that Indonesia lacks is enough educated people to really grow the economy. And does something like what YCAB is doing offer one path towards better soft infrastructure, as we were talking about?
One of the key challenge for Indonesia, 16th largest economy in the world, and it will break and become, picture this, 2040, Indonesia will be a G7 country.
Mm-hmm.
We would not be able to reach there without these kids being educated. And this is why I'm really passionate about what Farhan, Veronica, and others at YCAP is doing, because with small social investments like this, you can touch so many lives. You can touch 2,000 basically kids, and I think YCAP has touched more than 10,000 kids over the last 5 years.
The goal for YCAP is to touch how many lives?
Well, our goal is to touch at least 100,000. 100,000. That's only a fraction of our huge number of children in Indonesia, especially on the bottom of the pyramid. But then again, we really expect that this would be one of the prototype that anyone can copy or anything.
So the idea is not to copyright what YCAP is doing, but to have people replicate it.
Yes.
What kind of response are you getting to, for instance, the program that Sandy's involved in, but other programs where you're reaching out, obviously, to wealthier people to get them involved in what YCAP is doing? Are Indonesians from the upper classes, shall we say, generous? Are they wanting to reach out and be part of this, or is Sandy unusual in this regard?
Well, no. Fortunately, Sandy is not unusual. Well, yes. 12 years ago, it took a lot of efforts to convince everyone that we are going to spend your money well. In order to do that, so we have to build our accountability. That is why our organization, the YCAP, is also certified with ISO on management. So every time we have to meet any generous people, mm-hmm. they wouldn't hesitate to give us some hands, because we are accountable to really take care of the donation.
And YCAP has also reached out to the United States. You have an office in New York now, and am I correct? There's one in Georgia.
The one in New York. We are right now building it very seriously, mm-hmm. because we think what happened in Indonesia really affects the region in Southeast Asia. That is why we need international involvement in that. And since we have a very good relationship with lots of friends in Asia Society in New York, so we start building something there.
So this also, there you go, there's the Asia Society connection yet again. How have you gone about raising the money for the marathon? Have you had events where you invite people, or is this picking up the phone and calling up your friends and saying,
friends and families.
Yeah, friends and family. I'm going to be pounding
hunting in
the
the zoo. Hunting in the zoo. No, actually, the concept of running for sharing is actually very, very original in terms of when we run kilometers, then we would pledge a sum that other corporates or individuals can pretty much make the investments. We call it investments. The donation is investments, social investments. Then from the cost, we will match it dollar to dollar. And then we have a very generous corporate sponsors, PT Multi Strada, started by Peter Tanuri, mm-hmm. who just recently said, okay, whatever you double, Sandy, I will match that. So it will be a triple impact of the money that will be raised for the New York Marathon. So about 42 kilometers, we will be able to raise the triple sum of money. So I guess we're now already 2/3 all the way. More than 25 kilometers now have been sold. Mm-hmm. And our goal is to reach hopefully 42 kilometers and some more. All the monies will be basically sent across to YCAP to create a cluster for microfinance activities for basically to address this educations for the children.
Yeah, and it's not a donation. It's a social investment, because all the money are managed and invested to a lot of microeconomics household. Yeah. So, and we expect them to return the investment.
On that note, I'm going to have to stop you because we're out of time. But I want to thank,
Yes.
as you know, I want to thank both Farhan and Sandiaga Uno for being with us today. Sandy will be running the New York Marathon on November 6th for YCAB, and it's all about social investment and the health of the nation's children.
We will have a ticker here for YCAP's donation. Hopefully,
Please donate. It's an investment. It's
There
not
you
a
go.
donation.
Thank you very much for being with us.